With pregnancy comes a glowing, growing, beautiful body. But sometimes pregnant women are prone to stretch marks. What are stretch marks, and are they preventable? Once you have them, is there any way to get rid of them or at least reduce their appearance? Today, we're talking with Kim Walls, an internationally recognized skincare expert, on the 411 on stretch marks. This is Preggy Pals.
Is that a plus sign?
Pink or blue? Hospital or home birth?
What type of food should I be eating?
I think I just peed myself. I'm pregnant and I have to exercise.
What pregnancy glow?
Wait, was that a contraction?
Gotta make these pants fit. I've got kinkles.
What do you mean there's more than one?
You've got the symptoms, and now you've got the support you need for a happy 9 months. This is Preggy Pals, your pregnancy, your way.
Welcome to Preggy Pals, broadcasting from the Birth Education Center of San Diego. Preggy Pals is your weekly, online, on-the-go support group for expecting parents and those hoping to become pregnant. I'm your host, Annie Laird. Thanks to all of the loyal listeners who have joined the Preggy Pals Club. Our members get special episodes, bonus content after each new show, plus special giveaways and discounts. See our website for more information. Another way for you to stay connected is by downloading our free Preggy Pals app, available in the Android, iTunes, and Windows Marketplace. Now, Samantha, our producer, is going to give us some more information about our virtual panelist program.
All right. Thanks, Annie. So if you don't live in San Diego, but you'd like to be a panelist on our show, you can still participate through our virtual panelist program. Just like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram using hashtag PreggyPals. We'll post questions throughout the week prior to our taping. And we'd love for you to comment so we can incorporate your thoughts into our episode. You can also submit your questions directly to our experts. Learn more about our VP program through the community section on our website, www.preggypals.com.
Thanks, Samantha. All right, well, let's go around the studio and introduce ourselves. My name's Annie, and I'm going to be 36 next week. I'm a government contractor, and I don't have a due date. I have 3 little girls at home, and they were 2 of them are hospital births, and then the last was a home birth.
I'm Stephanie Glover. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have 2 daughters, ages 2.5 and 9 months. Both births were hospital births. The first was a C-section and the second a VBAC.
All right, I'm Samantha. I'm a producer here at Preggy Pals. I am 22 years old. I'm a stay-at-home mom for my 19-month-old Olivia. I don't currently have a due date, although I wish that I did. I had an unplanned cesarean with Olivia, and I'm hoping for a VBAC next time around.
But see, your kid is mobile now, so that's good that you don't have a due date right now.
Yes, in the second.
Exactly, this exact second. So, yeah, because I can tell you, having them 16 months apart is insane when you're pregnant. So.
I think I would have lost my mind.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, I'm Sunny. I'm the owner of New Mommy Media, which produces Preggy Pals, Parent Savers, and the Boob Group, and Twin Talks. And I have 4 children under the age of 4. I've got 2 boys, and I have identical twin girls. And I'm all about this episode because after, carrying around twins for 9 months or whatever, I have a few stretch marks that I did not have before. I made it through 2 pregnancies without stretch marks.
No, really?
I did. I really did.
Oh,
and then, boy, these little girls come along and then just rip me up. So it's actually really not that bad, but it could always be better.
We have a question for one of our experts. Jamie in Phoenix writes, what is the difference between a childbirth crash course that I can get in a 1-day course through my hospital versus one that I would go out in town and span several weeks? What extra things would be covered in the longer course?
Hi, Jamie. This is Nikki Helms, and I am a Birthing from Within mentor and childbirth educator. I just wanted to say that taking the crash course, like the weekend 1-day childbirth course, is great. You'll cover all of the topics, but you won't be able to cover them as in-depth as you would in a longer course. Also, a longer series course may give you the opportunity to make new mommy friends and bond with new parent families, and it'll give you an opportunity to meet new people exactly where you are. And you'll meet new people that you all have the same thing in common. So given the option, I'd recommend the longer course. However, some people just don't have time for it. So if you can get into the crash course, by all means take it. But please take your childbirth education course. So get educated. Thanks, Amy. Have a great day.
Today on Preggy Pals, we're talking all about stretch marks. Joining us on the phone today is Kim Walls. She's an internationally recognized skincare expert focused on skin health and beauty for babies and moms. Welcome to Preggy Pals, Kim. Thanks for joining us on the phone today.
You are most welcome, Annie. Thank you. And thank you for creating such a fantastic resource for pregnant women.
So what are stretch marks?
Stretch marks are tiny tears in the skin.
Okay.
So when the skin is stretching, when the belly's growing rapidly, sometimes the skin just can't keep up. So it's little ridges where there's collagen breakdown between them, and they're really just tiny tears, tiny little scars.
So for either the panelists, do either of you get stretch marks? And you mentioned before the episode, that look says it all. So
yes.
Yeah, that's Samantha, our producer, who's giving me the deer in the headlights look.
That was me.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough that I don't have really severe ones. I've seen worse that are very red or very deep purple, which luckily they were red when I was pregnant. Afterwards, they've faded to like a white, but they're definitely there.
Yeah. Now, where do you have them? Where did you get them?
I'm going to say there's not many higher than my belly button, so they're all below my belly button.
Yeah.
But they're all across. And then I have some like back on my hips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I got mine too. Yeah. So, yeah. Stephanie, did you get any or no?
Minimally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree too. I didn't really ever look under my belly, so I thought I had, I've got a pretty good belly for being pregnant, right?
You think you have like tiger stripes all the way down from like the rib cage.
Almost like kind of a watermelon, like that effect. But
Yeah.
I actually noticed them more after birth, kind of when I was shrinking back down. Then I noticed some maybe a little bit under my belly button as well.
Yeah, it seems to be a real common area for them.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that. So, but I never noticed them when they were red. They've always just been that faded kind of color.
Okay.
So.
You know, it's actually possible that they weren't there while you were pregnant. Sometimes the stretch marks appear after the pregnancy.
Yeah. Really? Oh, like in postpartum?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep, exactly.
That could have been it.
Exactly.
What do stretch marks look like? I mean, it seems like just with the women in our studio, they have a different experience with, different color and...
Yeah, well, welcome to the world of skin. It's some people call dermatology witchcraft because the skin is this magical organ. It changes and it's different for everybody, and the tones are different, and different kinds of skin will respond to the exact same circumstances differently. So you guys actually did a great job of describing the various ways that stretch marks present themselves. They can be deep, deep purple. They can actually have ridges that you can feel as you brush your fingers over them. They can be little white jagged lines. They really can take many, many, many forms. But what is consistent about stretch marks related to pregnancy is they do usually appear on the tummy, breasts, hips, and thighs. And breast is where I got mine.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question here was where are they found on the body? It seems like just here in the studio with our little small sample size of 3, it seems to be lower belly seems to be pretty consistent place. But yeah, as you're saying, they can be found in other places on the body as well.
Yep, anywhere that skin is stretching. I mean, if you think about how our bodies are designed to work, of course, the breasts grow, the hips grow, the thighs, we're storing a little bit of extra fat to make sure that those babies are thriving. Mm-hmm. And all of those areas have to grow. Those skin areas have to grow to accommodate that extra, those extra nutrients that we're holding on to make sure we can keep our babies healthy.
Mm-hmm. Now, do all pregnant women get stretch marks? Are there some like magical women out there that don't get stretch marks?
Must be nice.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're very rare. Most women do get stretch marks, and those who don't are rare and
hated. No, just kidding. Just kidding, Peggy pals. If you don't get stretch marks, we still love you and want you to listen to our podcast. Yeah. But
it's about 90% of women who will get them. That doesn't mean they'll all keep them, but during pregnancy and shortly thereafter, almost everybody can share this concern and commiserate together.
Wow, I had no idea that it was so common. I guess I have a few. But I guess the pictures I've seen when you type in Google in stretch marks and pregnant women, that's a good way to make you feel better about yourself, maybe. But that's I guess what I thought it was like all over the belly and all in the upper arms and thighs and like everywhere. And I only have a few compared to that. But is there something that makes a woman more prone or less prone to getting stretch marks?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Something, unfortunately, that we don't have much control over, which is our genes. Generally, if your mother had stretch marks, you have a higher likelihood of also getting them. But there are other factors, our hormone levels in the bodies, the skincare we use. There are all kinds of things that make a woman more or less likely to get stretch marks. But for those who are more likely, by taking proper care, it is possible to minimize them and potentially not have them at all, but certainly to minimize them and even eliminate them throughout after the birth.
Yeah. Now, Sunny's here in the studio, so I know you have something probably to ask about, like twin pregnancies.
Yeah.
I
mean, like I said before, I really didn't get anything with my first two. And then after I had my twins, and I didn't even go the full gestation with my twins, I gave birth at about 35 weeks. But I was still bigger. I was still bigger than I was with, either of my singleton pregnancies. And what I ended up getting, it almost looks like around my navel, it almost looks like a little sunburst. Like it
free
just
tattoo.
A free tattoo. Well, that's one way to look. And my name is Sunny, so I mean, no, I don't really know, but and the skin honestly is pretty loose right there, now at least. I'm 6.5, almost 7 months postpartum, and I'm still working on that area. So
I think it's harder with a third pregnancy. I didn't have twins for my third pregnancy, but it's
maybe
I don't know. I'm having a heck of a time losing, and the stretch marks are definitely more noticeable, I think, with just this other pregnancy. Maybe I eat too much ice cream.
And I do have stretch marks on my breast too.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys get that?
I have a few. Now I gotta look.
Everybody in the studio, look at your boobs.
I have a few.
I think she put the camera away.
Right? I do have a few from breastfeeding, from getting engorged.
Engorged, yeah.
Yeah.
I did have that from the other babies, yeah. So that had nothing to do with the twins. But it really wasn't bad. And mine are not red. They're just, a little lighter.
Right, yeah.
Little lighter. But it really does drive me crazy because as women, I think we're just so prone to looking at our, abdominal area. And, we're just so obsessed with getting the weight off. And that's one area I always look at first. It's like the place in my body that the weight is lost last there, if that makes any sense.
That's where I am right now.
Yeah.
I'm 7 months postpartum.
Yeah.
And but the stretch marks are still there.
Yeah,
so,
I know. I don't know what to do about it. And like I said, the skin is looser there too. I may just need some surgery. I may have to talk to my husband about that.
Well, when we come back, we're going to be discussing how to prevent stretch marks, or if you can't prevent them, at least to minimize the look on your body. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Today we're discussing stretch marks. Kim Walls is our expert. Now, Kim, do stretch marks ever go away once you get them?
They do, usually.
Really?
Usually they do. They almost always get minimized, but yes. And you don't even have to wait that long, actually. After pregnancy, most often the majority of stretch marks will go away within 6 to 12 months after pregnancy. There's hope!
I got a few more months to go here. Is there anything that they could do if they don't go away? Say there's women listening to this podcast and their baby is 2 years old and they still have stretch marks. What can women do to reduce the appearance of the stretch marks when she's had them and it's looking like they're not going anywhere?
Yeah, well, it's a great question, and there is definitely more to do when it comes to prevention, which we'll get to. But when it comes to getting rid of them once you have them, just keep in mind that they are tiny tears. They're little scars. So the same kinds of things you would do for scar treatment, you would do for stretch marks. One of the best things is massage, to massage your skin constantly, just like after surgery or, anybody who wants to get rid of a scar, most professionals, medical professionals will say, give it a little massage, a few minutes here and there, just pay attention to it, give it some love. There are ingredients in skincare that can certainly help with stretch marks. Most of those would be, that would really work, would be way too aggressive for anybody who's breastfeeding. And then, you mentioned earlier on the call, maybe a little, not so much surgery, but in the case of stretch marks, there are laser treatments that can help post-pregnancy. There really are a lot of ways to get rid of them, but the key is prevention.
Yeah. Now, what are some of the ingredients? Obviously, there's creams and oils and salves and that type of stuff. But what is in those products that a woman can? I mean, what about them actually prevents the stretch marks in the first place?
Prevention or treatment?
Well, how about both? I mean, what are the ingredients for prevention and reduction? Are they the same, or are they different things in those products?
No, they're different. They would be different. So those kinds of things that we were talking about earlier, where you're really working to get rid of stretch marks that you already had, that's where you get into things like high levels of vitamin A, which creates other problems. You don't want to expose skin to the sun if it's got vitamin A, high levels on it. There are things like bearberry extract that essentially act as bleaches to the skin. That happens to be a natural version of them. There are others, like hydroquinone, which can also do that job. There are ingredients that go beyond the benefits of helping with stretch marks all the way over to helping make sure your baby thrives when your baby's born. Since you have that probiotic or that healthy bacteria on your skin, that gets transferred over to baby. So once baby's born, they're pretty much sterile. They have no bacteria on their skin. But within that first 48 hours of birth, they become completely populated, and they need that. They absolutely need that healthy bacteria to thrive. And the best place for them to get it is from mom, and it happens during skin-to-skin time. So if you're using probiotics during pregnancy to help prevent stretch marks and help care for stretch marks, you're also adding in that benefit of making your own ecosystem thrive so that you can give that to your baby when they're born. When it comes to making sure you prevent them, the kinds of ingredients is actually less important than the time you use your skincare products and the approach you use to skincare. So when it comes to stretch marks, you want to keep the skin hydrated, keep it highly moisturized. And one of the big misconceptions around moisturizing skin is that if you put heavy-duty oils on, that you're moisturizing your skin. That's exactly wrong. What actually happens is that it will insulate the skin. It will prevent the loss of moisture. But if the skin is dehydrated, those oils won't help put the moisture back in. And just like any other time, if you're dehydrated, your body's not going to work properly, whether you're dehydrated from alcohol, not when you're pregnant, of course, or dehydrated from exercise. All of these dehydration conditions cause all kinds of problems, and the skin is no different. If the skin is dehydrated, it won't be able to build cells quickly, repair cells quickly, and be responsive to the conditions of pregnancy and growing skin in the same way. So you want to hydrate with moisturizing ingredients, things like aloe vera. Organic in particular is, of course, great when you're pregnant if that's an option. So purified organic aloe, no fragrances, no dyes, lotions and moisturizers that contain high water content ingredients are really helpful to hydrate the skin, and then do a second layer that keeps that moisture in the skin. So that's where you get into heavy oils, not petroleum, not which is not healthy for skin, not goopy products, but oils that are natural and healthy and have high levels of essential fatty acids, building blocks for skin. So keep it moist, and then use the oils to massage and to keep the moisture in. And then after a bath, within 3 minutes, apply those oils.
Yeah, I was going to ask. That's always what I've kind of heard is that once you get out of the water, that's the great time to moisturize right then.
Absolutely, and that's when you use your heavy oil products, and that's when you do the massaging and the things that will keep the water in. And you've got about a 3-minute window before the skin really starts to dry out and you lose all that good extra water.
Now, are there any old wives' tales that you've heard just from being a skincare expert? I'm sure that this is what you do day in and day out.
There are wives' tales about vitamin E being great for stretch marks in particular, which there's no proof there. There are certain products out there that have been around forever that talk about having a specific formula that is specifically designed to eliminate stretch marks. There's no special magic bullet. It's about the right kinds of healthy ingredients and the right use and approach. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you a new one. If you want to hear sort of a newer information about stretch marks in pregnancy, is that it's something to keep in mind about the condition of skin and what keeps it healthy. Things that keep the skin healthy are also going to help prevent, minimize, and reverse stretch marks. We have a thriving ecosystem on the skin. For every square inch of skin cells you actually have more bacterial cells, healthy, important bacterial cells, than you do skin cells. And keeping that environment thriving and healthy and happy, that ecosystem flourishing, is one of the most valuable and important things that you can do for your skin. And that includes especially during pregnancy.
Okay. Now, does the appearance change over time?
Oh, certainly. They do. The appearance of stretch marks change pretty dramatically within very short periods of time. So you can have deep, deep purple stretch marks and then 6 months later have them fade almost to white. Absolutely, yeah.
What causes that? Do you know, Kim? I'm just curious, if someone has a stretch mark and it starts out all purpley, I would imagine that would have something to do with blood or something in the body, and then how it goes to like a whitish color.
So it's maybe just healing, perhaps?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's about balance. It's about being out of whack. Anytime there is a color in the skin, it's related to the melanocytes producing melanin. So our skin is dependent upon the melanocytes, a specific kind of cell which produce melanin, which causes the color of skin. So if there's a little scar and the melanocytes aren't functioning properly, then the skin will be more pale and more white. So it's really, the paling of scars is really just a reflection of skin cells that should be there and functioning that really aren't. And it's also why scars and wounds and little tears are more susceptible to sun damage, because it's melanin that's protecting us from sun damage.
I wonder, does the same thing apply to, so I had a C-section with my daughter, and I mean, from having major surgery, I do have a pretty significant scar that's definitely faded over the past almost 20 months, but it's definitely still noticeable also. Do these principles apply to a C-section scar like they would stretch marks, or does that need, like, say, more aggressive treatment?
It's the same thing. It's fundamentally the same thing. You treat them the same way. You can use the same kinds of ingredients. When, and if skincare doesn't work, then you can go to lasers and get more and more technical in the medical community until you're able to have be happy with your body and feel good about it.
What does you mentioned vitamin A products? What is Retin A? I guess Retin A would be like the product name, but what would like a high vitamin A? What does that do that actually helps with the appearance of stretch marks? How does that work?
Well, it accelerates the turnover of skin cells. So very important here to throw in a caveat that vitamin A, and especially high levels of vitamin A, is a highly controversial topic. Certainly inappropriate for pregnancy. Don't make no mistake there. Do not use vitamin A while pregnant or nursing or anything else.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I used that product like for acne, but I remember that, like, when I got that prescription, obviously you had to get that through a dermatologist. That there was a big, like, okay, you're not pregnant, and I had to take a pregnancy test to make sure I wasn't pregnant. So because that can have bad effects on baby and like fetal development.
Yeah. So topically, what it does is really accelerates the turnover of skin cells. So you can have all kinds of, if you have old skin cells sloughing off, and new skin cells replace those. And new skin cells tend to be healthier, more vibrant, scar-free. And so as you accelerate the turnover of old skin cells and create the presence of new skin cells, that skin is likely to be more smooth. And that's basically how it works.
Now, is that how does laser treatment work then? Is that kind of the same thing?
No, it is different. There are all kinds of different laser treatments, but fundamentally, probably the most common for stretch marks would be a resurfacing tactic. So it's the same basic idea: get rid of the old skin cells, bring some new skin cells in. So laser is a much more aggressive way to do that, where you can take off the top one or top many layers of skin cells to the point where somebody is really bloody and pulpy, and at high risk of infection. And there are all kinds of challenges around that. But it takes off the old skin cells and you get the new ones back.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that something that you would have to like go through a doctor to get done, like a laser treatment, or is that something like a skincare person would be able to do?
There are places like Medi-Spas that do those. Generally, it depends on how aggressive of a laser treatment and what types of lasers are used. Mm-hmm. But generally, I think it's good to have a doctor who is overseeing these kinds of things. There are cases where it goes wrong. And so you want somebody who really knows what they're doing, not something you want to run off to another country and do because it's cheaper.
Yeah. Is that something with laser treatment, if someone was interested in that, is that something like a one-time shot, or do they have to keep going back and getting that done?
Well, it again depends upon the types of lasers and the types of treatment. There are both versions of that. But generally it would be a multi-step process, probably 2 to 6 treatments.
Ah, okay. What's the cost usually associated with something like that?
It varies very dramatically. It can be lots of hundreds of dollars, and it can be lots of thousands of dollars.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was so expensive.
It can be.
I can't imagine my insurance covering that, because it probably would be of like medical necessity. It'd be like, yeah, go just massage your, scar tissue For free. Free 30.
And then there's of course that element of, this is who we are. These are our battle wounds. These are
Tiger
reminders
stripes.
of these incredible lives that we've brought into this world. There's certainly the approach of, embrace it and love it because it's your body.
Yeah.
You've only got one.
Yeah. Thanks, Kim, for joining us today. For more information about Kim, as well as information about any of our panelists, visit the episode page on our website. This conversation continues for members of our Preggy Pals Club. After the show, Kim is going to be talking with us about Stretch Mark products and how you can use them if you're breastfeeding your baby and if it's safe for your baby. To join our club, visit our website, www.preggypals.com.
Hi, Preggy Pal listeners. I'm Robin Kaplan, an international board-certified lactation consultant, owner of the San Diego Breastfeeding Center, and a host and producer of Preggy Pal's sister show, The Boob Group. I'm here to offer some advice on what you can do during pregnancy to prepare for a positive breastfeeding experience, such as think about setting a breastfeeding goal with your partner. Breastfeeding is only one component of parenting where you will want to be on the same page with your partner. While the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of your baby's life, until 1 year with complementary foods, and then past 1 year as long as it's mutually beneficial for mom and baby, this may not be your personal breastfeeding goal. Everyone in your life will have an opinion about how long you should breastfeed. However, it is up to you and your partner to figure out what makes the most sense for your family. Now, why is this important to decide while you are still pregnant? Well, there are many reasons. Say you are having a breastfeeding challenge when your baby is a few weeks old. If you and your partner have set your breastfeeding goal for a year, it will definitely make sense for you to seek the help you need at this early stage of your goal. It's like investing in the perfect shoe as you train for a marathon. What if you have a critical family member who is making passive-aggressive comments about how often your baby breastfeeds and wonders aloud why you just don't give your baby a bottle so you can sleep more? If you have set your breastfeeding goal with your partner, all he or she has to do is take this person aside and let him or her know that you both would appreciate only breastfeeding positive comments in your presence. Lastly, once your family reaches your initial breastfeeding goal, you all have something to celebrate together. Plus, you may just decide to extend that goal a little bit further if things are going really well for all of you. For more great information about what you can do during pregnancy to prepare for a positive breastfeeding experience, please check out my blog at the San Diego Breastfeeding Center.com/blog. And be sure to listen to Preggy Pals and the Boob Group for fantastic conversations about breastfeeding and breastfeeding support.
That wraps up our show for today. We appreciate you listening to Preggy Pals. Don't forget to check out our sister shows, Parent Savers, for parents with newborns, infants, and toddlers, Twin Talks for parents of multiples, and our show, The Boob Group, for moms who breastfeed their babies. Next week, we'll be discussing being pregnant in the military. This is Preggy Pals, your pregnancy, your way.
This has been a New Mommy Media production. The information and material contained in this episode are presented for educational purposes only. Statements and opinions expressed in this episode are not necessarily those of New Mommy Media and should not be considered facts. While such information and materials are believed to be accurate, it is not intended to replace or substitute for professional medical advice or care, and should not be used for diagnosing or treating healthcare problem or disease or prescribing any medication. If you have questions or concerns regarding your physical or mental health or the health of your baby, please seek assistance from a qualified healthcare provider.
New Mommy Media is expanding our lineup of shows for new and expecting parents. If you have an idea for a new series, or if you're a business or organization interested in joining our network of shows through a co-branded podcast, visit newmommymedia.com. Hey mamas, don't forget to check out Mighty Moms. It's our online community built for new moms just like you. Not only can you connect with other moms, but you can also join us backstage for special mom-only online events. And you'll also be notified when we're recording so you can join us as a special guest. Visit our website, newmommymedia.com, and click on the Mighty Moms banner. It's free. That's newmommymedia.com. See you there.